Hi, my name is Stauffer, and I'm doing my Module 2. So an introduction about myself. First of all, I am a family consumer science teacher at Hempfield School District, and I'm the department coordinator for the district's grades 7 through 12. It's my 19th year teaching, and currently I am teaching face-to-face students, and then also I am teaching some virtual students as well. So it's a combination. So we record through Google Meet what we're doing in class, and then the virtual students can follow along as well. This is also my last course here in online teaching endorsement program here at Millersville University. It's kind of funny, those pictures are from before December when I got my hair cut about 6 inches taken off. So it is me, just different hairstyles each time. Some of my experiences, first of all, as a learner, I did take online classes through different universities, but as you can see, they were quite a number of years ago. So things have really changed. From the first time I took a online class at Wilkes, I felt like I didn't have any interaction with the professor other than discussions and what she posted. There was never videos or anything of her teaching or any other professor teaching. So that's definitely been a difference. In Millersville, that was a little different. I took one online class through my master's program, which was through school counseling. And, that one was a little different, but still, back then it was much different than it is now. And then at Temple, I did a hybrid model. So it was online through the week. And then on Saturdays, you went to Temple to do classwork and attend classes. And then, of course, throughout, my professional life, through Act 48 credits and things, our district has had us do Apple Educator classes and things, which are all done online. We've also done some Schoology, because that's our learning management system classes. And currently, obviously, I'm in Millersville University doing all online classes as a student. As a teacher, as I said, I'm currently teaching face-to-face and virtual. So really, in the last year, I've learned so much about teaching online. And then, of course, as everyone did in the spring, we all taught virtual. And in the past, I have helped create an online Fundamentals FCS, which is our required course. It is a summer school offering. And also, I helped create an online child development course for my department, which is being currently taught now. I have not taught that course, but I helped create it. So I've had some experiences both as a learner and a teacher, but even with those experiences, I still feel like I can grow in many different ways with online learning and teaching. For the next slide, we talked about skills, and Marskowitz had a very interesting point about online teaching and the skills that are needed for it. One of the quotes that I found actually was from Joseph Kavanaugh that he quoted in his article about online teaching takes significantly more time than an on-ground class. And I thought that was interesting because I definitely think that's true in the very beginning, but as you develop the course, really all you need to do is modify and maybe meet some individual needs of students, but really once you have all the groundwork done, then I think it gets easier. Grading seems to be easier in some cases. So I think that there's a lot of great things that come out of online teaching. As far as what I've mastered in these skills, I feel like good communication skills. I do lots of videos with my students. I send messages daily. I do updates for them. So every day they know what we're doing, they know the plan, and there's discussion posts. And I do a lot of live videos as well, so they can see me, and that seems to be helpful, especially if I'm explaining a project or something. They need to see me and kind of get to know, like, the feeling behind and the animation and things that are behind it that may help them to understand a little better. So that's something that I feel like I have mastered. And I did put a quote on there from Marskowitz in his article: online teaching requires heightened awareness of how one communicates virtually. And that is definitely something that I have agreed and definitely have shared. My prior online experiences, as I shared on the last slide, I feel like has helped me with those skills. And then, of course, The content and subject area, I feel like I have a mastery of the content, but where it becomes more of a grow area is going to be where you're taking a hands-on course and making it a virtual course. So I put that one in both sides because I feel like, yes, I have mastery of content in the subject area, but it's challenging to learn how to make it a hands-on course, a virtual course. Technology skills is something I think I always need growth in, although I feel like I've definitely learned a lot in the past year. It's something that I find that at least once or twice a week, there's some little issue. It could have just been that a link didn't work, or it could have been that, maybe it was something where I had, an issue with, a student couldn't access something or couldn't find something. Sometimes it's simple as just finding a report that I need, and it's like, oh, where do I find that report? So the technology skills is definitely something that I feel like is ever changing, and it could be a growth area for me. Another quote I put on there from Moskowitz from 2016, teachers reported that anyone who teaches online should have a firm grasp on technology skills. And I definitely think that's true because we do come up with things. So that is my skills slide. Next, we have qualities of online teaching. So flexibility is definitely something that was mentioned, but the differences I find is that with online teaching, there's more flexibility with a teacher's schedule, but there's also more flexibility with student schedules. So they can get on in the evening, in the daytime, whatever works for them. But also with flexibility with modifying assignments. It's nice in our Schoology learning management system. We are able to assign, specific assignments to individual students and even to groups. So I think that's very helpful, especially for students who may have an IEP, that they can have a special, assignment. They don't even know that they're getting something different than other students. So that's really been very helpful. Establishing clear expectations and support. I think the difference here with online learning is students don't have others to rely on. And I think that was also mentioned in the article, but they don't have other students to look over and be like, oh, what did you get? What was your answer? What did you say? Oh yeah, I can do this. I can add on to what you're saying. They have to do it independently. So they take the initiative and they have to be self-motivated to do that. So I definitely think that's something that is very different in online teaching. Patience. I've definitely learned this one where all teachers need patience, but definitely with online learning, you do get frustrated, and there are times where something won't work, or a student is not handing in their work, or they're not doing what they're supposed to be, or they're not logging into your class when they're supposed to. And that can be super frustrating because in face-to-face, you could interact with them, talk to them, find out what's going on. And it's just a little bit harder to do that with an online course. At least I found that it's been a little more challenging. Organization, I think, is important for every teacher, but the difference with online teaching is you have to be super organized because you're not there to always facilitate face-to-face. You're there, as a facilitator, but they have to be willing to do it and find it. And so it's really important to encourage that student independence by making sure your courses and your content, everything is organized so that it's easy for them to navigate and they won't have as many questions. The last quality is dedication and motivation. And again, all teachers should be dedicated, all teachers are motivated, but for online teachers, they have to check in at various hours. So you might be checking if assignments are due at 11:59 p.m., maybe you're checking them at midnight, or maybe you're doing it in the morning. So you have a little more flexibility, but at the same time, you have to be dedicated to know when your due dates are, making sure that you have everything ready to go when you say you're going to release a module or release a lesson. So personally, for challenges that I face, number one, I feel like is time. And Archambault in her article said that time investment was a major factor in their online teachers' workload. And definitely it's easier as you go, but I find that in my district, I think virtual and face-to-face, doing the combination is burning out teachers. And teachers are very stressed right now because you're not only trying to do lessons and doing things with your face-to-face students, you're also teaching the virtual students and making sure they have the needs that they, you know, what they need in order to be successful. So it's like you're doing two things, and it's very stressful. Course content, again, you know, I've mentioned this several times, but just making the course hands-on. So, or excuse me, making a hands-on course an effective online course is difficult when you teach a culinary class or a preschool lab or a technology, you know, a wood shop class, making sure that you can still do those lessons and teach those the content, but also making sure that you can do that online. And as I said in maybe another class, but I feel like you can only watch so many demo videos and do so many projects. So just coming up with, you know, creative ideas to teach the content is definitely something that I'm working on. What I do like is the flexibility in the curriculum that my district allows us to do. So we create the curriculum. We don't have a set curriculum. So it's not like we are given a box curriculum and said we have to teach this. There is flexibility. And the last challenge, but it has a yellow star because that is the #1 issue for me. And this is what Archambault said was, teachers express frustration with students who may not be well suited for an online learning environment and disparity between students who succeed and those who fail. Getting to know students is very hard virtually, especially at the high school level when they don't want to turn on their cameras. So not being able to see them, and it just makes it very difficult. Also, I feel like, you know, what she said about the success and those who fail, I find that this last semester, we're on block scheduling, but this last semester in my own department, our 9th grade required course, typically we have no failures. And I think this year we've had, or this semester, we had over 20 failures. And, you know, again, I have to look at the data to find out, is it all virtual students or what it is? But we definitely noticed a big difference this first semester with our students and their success. We also have a lot of students that are coming back from virtual learning and face-to-face for second semester because a lot of students realized virtual was not for them because they couldn't be self-motivated. And then the last thing under student issues would be meeting the individual needs of students. You know, it can be done, but just making sure that you know all their needs and that you're aware of how you can, you know, do that with students with disabilities, and making sure that, you know, you're giving them equal access for them to be successful. So, and that pretty much wraps up my presentation. So thank you and have a great weekend.